Good afternoon. This is Leatherneck Magazine's Andrew Lubin. Today we're talking with Bill Golden, chairman of IntelligenceCareers.com, one of the leading recruiting services for our young men and women getting out of the service. Bill, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today.
Glad to be here. Always glad to be able to help Marines. You know, my father was a Marine, so it runs in the family.
Excellent. Bill, it's forecast this year that between 5,500 and 6,500 Marines will separate early from active service in fiscal year 2013 with programs like the VSEP and Temporary Early Retirement Authority designed to thin the ranks. Overall, 41,000 Marines will reach their end of service this year. What's it going to be like for these young men and women coming out of the service? Young Marines, probably with a high school education, but multiple deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. How are they able to find a job today?
Okay. Well, first off, there really is some good news compared to a year ago. A year ago, the picture was very bleak, but currently, the unemployment rate among veterans really has dropped dramatically. So nationwide, what we now refer to as post 9/11 veterans, which is anyone that's gone in and is getting out of the military since 9/11, that unemployment rate is hovering about 10%, but only for the first 6 months of employment. After that, the employment level very quickly is the same as civilians in the local area. So the big message I have for you is it depends on where you're going. So let's say you're at Camp Lejeune. North Carolina currently ranks number 47th in unemployment. The unemployment level is not dropping really quick. So if you're a young Marine, one of the things you probably want to do is look elsewhere in the United States for opportunities, because where you're at may not be the best place. And if where you're at is North Carolina or Southern California, certainly you really want to look elsewhere. And there are many opportunities.
Where would these opportunities lie?
Well, we need to look at your skill sets to begin with. Let's say you're coming out of the Marines and you're used to heavy equipment, you're used to living a little bit of a sparse life. One of the things you may want to think about is construction or the energy industry. If you were to go to Texas or North Carolina, North Dakota, you're going to do just fine. The construction industry is booming in those two states. The energy industry is booming in those two states. And quite often you can find door opening opportunities in both energy and construction companies to where you can do really well. You can start out on the ground level without knowing a lot about what's going on if you're willing to work hard, put some sweat into it. A second thing that I really recommend, especially if you're a young Marine, you've got a high school diploma or maybe only a little bit of college, one of the things that I want to recommend is that you look at the skilled trades and consider joining and becoming part of your local union for electricians, plumbers. Basically, you're going to have, and if you can Google this. Go to Google and put in tradesman union apprenticeship almost anywhere, put Houston, Texas, Virginia, Massachusetts, wherever. The unions really have a great program that gets you training, provides you with a job, gets you a great paycheck, gets you certified, and many of these programs are a 5-year program, so someone's got a plan for your life.
With the Marines coming out now, that's good if they're heavy equipment or radio techs. What if they're combat arms, infantry, artillery, armor? What do they do?
Really, the advice I just gave, so if you're interested in the trades, the unions are looking for people who are interested in becoming skilled tradesmen. But let's step back, and we really need to look at the part of the country you're going to. So if you are a young Marine, you went in, you did 3, 4, 6 years, and now you say, hey, I'm going a different direction. One of the directions you really want to go to is go back to school. You know, unless you have bills to pay, you want to go back to school, and I recommend a community college over almost any other kind of school. Community colleges often are connected to the local business community. They know what the business community is looking for, and they can help advise you as to things that will get you out there. Now, you don't need to go to a community college to get a 2-year degree. Get a technical certification in something that the local business community looks for. Also, if you're a Marine, you want to hook up with the Marine Executive Association, MEA.org, MikeEchoAlpha.org, and the MEA is out there constantly connecting Marines with employers who appreciate Marines and are willing to open doors for them.
Well, all this being said, what do you know about Marine recruiting, Marine employment versus the other services? Good, bad, or indifferent?
Marines have, of all the services, the Marines really are at the top of the food chain. And by that I mean employers believe that Marines have a can-do attitude. So an employer is more likely to look positively upon giving a chance to a young Marine over other members of the armed services. Not that they don't like the other armed services, but you know, Marines tend to make more money in the commercial market than the other services, and employers generally, they just look very highly upon Marines, and that's kind of the end of the story. And anytime someone thinks well of you, they're going to give you a chance.
Well, that works well. Bill, in the past year, television advertisements seem to be that hiring veterans is the flavor of the month. In actuality, is this happening, or is that just feel-good advertising?
No, it is really happening, and it depends upon the company. Part of that is there was a tax break. You hire a veteran, you get a tax deduction as a company. You get tax credits, et cetera, et cetera. So it's in their behalf to hire veterans. Some of the companies, let's say in the defense industry, SAIC has a very strong record of hiring veterans. My numbers may not be exact, but I believe they have about 50,000 on payroll, and about at least 10,000 of those are veterans. A number of other companies, whether it's Lockheed Martin, Booz Allen Hamilton, a number of other companies have dedicated military recruiters. Commercial companies do too. Amazon.com and Microsoft are both examples of two companies that absolutely love military and have special recruiting channels and a special recruiting network set up just to recruit military. So if you were to go online to Google and put in military veteran hiring opportunity, Amazon.com, you're going to find they have a special page focused on you that helps translate you. Also, check out the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce has put together a huge network of employers and organizations nationwide with a focus on hiring our heroes, hiring veterans. And so checking out the National U.S. Chamber of Commerce website will help connect you very quickly with companies that have pledged to hire veterans.
Bill, a young man coming out as an infantryman in 0311 or an artilleryman in 0811, that's a tough resume to write. Tremendous skills in the Marine Corps, they don't translate well into the civilian world. How does he write a resume to showcase his abilities? And can your company, intelligencecareers.com, help him?
Sure. So the first thing about your resume is just be honest. You know, selling skills as an infantryman or armor, artillery, etc., or combat support, really, there is no good translation. What you want to do is, and we can help you with your resume. If you go to our website, we have an icon at the top of our homepage, and we have many different websites. So if intelligencecareers.com doesn't sound like you, don't worry about it. Go to defensecareers.com or usajobzoo.com. They all have a little bit different flavor as to how they approach the jobs market, but they're all designed and they're interconnected as websites. Look for the guru icon. Click the icon, ask your question. You know, I'm thinking about going to Iowa. I'm thinking about this. I have these skill sets. You know, what does the job market look like? Could you help me with your resume? And we're more than glad to help. We don't charge for any of that because we make our money from employers who say, go find me. The second part is how do you sell yourself? It's really very simple. In your resume, you want to put an objective line at the beginning. And a lot of resume advice says never put an objective because this pigeonholes you. But in this case, you really need to get it out front that you are seeking an opportunity in. It could say seeking entry-level opportunity. Maybe you're coming out, you have some knowledge of accounting or logistics. Logisticians are a good example. Almost everyone in the military understands logistics at a very much finer level than they really appreciate, even though they were not in logistics. And logistics are needed for everything that out there. So if you were to say seeking an entry-level position in logistics, strong background in handling of munitions, or strong background in handling supply distribution for troops, you'd be surprised. And a great website to get a heads up on that is to go to logisticsjobs.com. And along that same line, if you're a young Marine and you're not really sure what to do, but you know, one of the things military do a lot is they drive vehicles. Truck drivers are constantly in demand, and much like the unions, there are companies willing to pay you to be a truck driver, to learn how to be a truck driver, to put you through training. They'll put money in your pocket and they will get you fixed up. And so really within about 6 months, you could be $50,000, $60,000 in your pocket as an annual paycheck just by saying, hey, I'd like to become a truck driver. I'd like to learn about that, because it is part of the logistics system, and you need people who understand technology, whether you're on the battlefield or you're in the inside of a big semi. If you were to look inside of a semi these days, you've got monitors, you've got sensors, you've got all kinds of things. It is a command center, and you need someone smart enough, motivated enough to not look at it as a truck, but look at it as a logistics system, a command center, and you've got to get from point A to point B and accomplish your mission, and no one can do that better than a Marine.
Bill, with a young Marine, male or woman, getting out, be it either their scheduled EAS or through the voluntary separation program, the temporary early retirement program, how soon should they plan for a job, work on the jobs before they get out? 1 month, 2 months?
No, you really need, I would begin thinking about it at least 6 months in advance. And here's why. Now, if you have a month or two, you can make a lot of smart decisions. But if you have 6 months, that's a great place to be. Because you need to do more than think about a job. You need to think about cost of living. You need to think about your own financial stability, such as if have you saved up money? Can you pay your way through life? What a lot of young Marines under the age of 27 discover is that when they get out, especially if they don't have medical benefits or anything else, very few companies offer any benefits of any kind to young Americans under the age of 27. Now, it's not that they're discriminating against young Americans, it's just that this is a very formative time in most young people's careers, and so companies give them jobs where they don't necessarily have benefits that come along with it. That's just part of the game. So you need to think about where you're going, do you need benefits, who you're going to live with. A lot of young people share apartments or even live in the homes of other folks. So where are you going to live? What is the current unemployment situation? And what is the industry or the economy like where you might like to go? So you need to keep an open mind, plan it like you would any other campaign. 6 months gives you plenty of time to make a great decision.
Okay. Bill, this has been very informative. We'd like to come back the next few weeks and chat with you specifically about Marines getting out from Camp Lejeune, then again from the Camp Pendleton, 20 on Palms, and Miramar area, if you'll make the time for us on that.
I sure will. And one of the things I want to recommend as well is for 2013, we have 2 new news programs, web television shows that we run, and you can find them on our websites. One is called the USA Jobs Report, and it focuses purely on commercial industry and trends and what's out there, and we update that each week. So you can watch it in a video, watch me chit-chat, and I take questions. But we also put the videos on our website, and we include links to everything that we mentioned in the program. The second is if you want to go into the defense industry, and our parent company is intelligencecareers.com, but don't let the name get in the way. We run defensecareers.com and usadefenseindustryjobs.com. We're all interlinked. The second program we have is the Defense and Intelligence Jobs Report each week. Quick program, 5 to 10 minutes each week. But again, we tell you who is doing what with whom, and we provide links on the video and with the video so you can directly connect to opportunities and employers. So visit our website, intelligencecareers.com, defensecareers.com, usajobzoo.com, or we have a bunch more.
Sounds like there's no lack of them. Bill, thanks for the time. This is Leatherneck Magazine's Andrew Lubin. Today we've been speaking with Bill Golden, chairman of intelligencecareers.com, about job opportunities for the Marines. Bill, thank you for the time today.
Very welcome. Take care.
Thank you. Out here.